the brand doesn't necessarily drive the business there. It's more advertising and location. And so in that case, I would not mind rebranding because I see no damage to or lessening of customer flow or anything like that as a result of it. And I have a bigger plan. And the roll up is actually the brand and the roll up is actually important to how we plan to sell it. To get the synergies of rolling the thing up, I can do that without changing the brand as long as there's an integration of the back office and there's some economies of scale, some merger synergies that are realized.
I was there in San Diego last week, and I was really fascinated by your presentation when you broke down the steps to like have the end in mind of a roll up.
Yes, sir.
And so that shifted my idea about my acquisition criteria because if I get, like a restaurant, a car wash, and a guitar course, we're not heading towards that idea. And so I would like to understand like I can picture it with auto repair shops, for example, because they all deal with Ford and Toyotas, and so they kind of can streamline the thing. But do you then brand them all the all of them the same name, or do you keep different brands and names for each of the shops, for example?
That's a great question. And the answer is that it depends. So if you are like, we have an auto roll up that is happening under the brand Mango. And so Mango Automotive acquires other pre-existing auto repair shops and folds them into the Mango brand because the brand Mango has a culture, it has a plan, and it has a unique selling proposition of we are especially friendly to women. We are especially in a male dominated, typically not female friendly environment, and we specialize in the repair of electric automobiles, which no one else that we know of really does, other than the people that sell those vehicles. So in that case, we're rebranding, and
Uh,
we don't feel that we're going to really lose anything because the companies that we're acquiring aren't necessarily like the brand doesn't necessarily drive the business there. It's more advertising and location. And so in that case, I would not mind rebranding because I see no damage to or lessening of customer flow or anything like that as a result of it. And I have a bigger plan. And the roll up is actually the brand and the roll up is actually important to how we plan to sell it. If I was doing an automotive roll up, which was just financial, and there was actual brand equity in the companies that I was acquiring, so that I would be maybe losing something if they were like, oh, it's not Chuck's Auto Detail anymore, then I might think about it differently. But the other challenge is that if it's Chuck's Auto Detail that I'm buying, it's branded to a person, and that's tough because I have a hard time selling that. So to get the synergies of rolling the thing up, I can do that without changing the brand as long as there's an integration of the back office and there's some economies of scale, some merger synergies that are realized. But if I'm not really risking a loss by changing to the brand, and I actually think I might get a gain because I've got brand equity in the brand that I have that I'm acquiring with, then I'm really going to stick with changing the name. When we looked at the real estate thing, for example, we basically decided that it was better to allow the individual real estate offices to maintain their existing brand because of their Google reviews and all those kinds of things. And then when we pull the trigger on when we've accumulated enough of them that we hit the critical mass that we are targeting as a minimum to go then to sell the thing, that's the time that we would rebrand and go forward.
mm,
So that you can do it like with you're not stuck, I guess, with not rebranding if you decide not to do it at the moment of acquisition. And then the last thing I'll say is we're in the middle of a deal right now where we're selling to a private equity company, and they are doing a roll up in the space, but each of the entities that they're acquiring is retaining its name for two reasons. One is that they're acquiring in different geographic territories, and so in the physical territory, they don't mind, like they don't see that the holding company, which has kind of a bland name, is going to imbue some additional value there. And actually, there is a risk of losing customers if they change from the name they
Yeah.
got to this name. But there's no, like, it's just a financial deal they're doing. It's not, it's a financially motivated roll up, not like a strategic acquisition. So, and then in the companies that they're acquiring in the same physical territory, because they have different customer segments, that's how they're, achieving the value of the roll up. Because they have different customer segments that they're going after, they're allowing each brand to retain its unique identity so that the holding company has these portfolio companies that are addressing different market segments, and they already have brand equity in those segments, so it makes sense not to change the name of them. So that's a lot of information around the it depends, but hopefully that helps.